Oh, hello, this is Tak Chong from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. In this video, I would like to invite you to cook with me in the kitchen. I'm going to use a scenario that I arrive home at around 6:30 p.m. and my wife and my son will be back at around 7. So I decided that I'm going to cook a teriyaki chicken as well as some broccoli stir fry with other vegetables. I want the dinner to be ready and on the table by 7 p.m. In cooking this teriyaki chicken, I'm going to make a minor modifications to the basic stir fry template. I'm going to create a light breading on the chicken. I make this change upon the request of my son. He asked me whether I can make my teriyaki chicken more like the one he had in the restaurant. So okay, let's go in the kitchen together and see what we could do. The first thing you do after you enter into the kitchen, you went to the freezer and you grab some chicken that have been prepped and frozen. You get a package and then you go to the sink and you had a sink of warm water ready and you put the chicken into the sink. In about less than 10 minutes, the chicken is thawed and you transfer it into a plastic container. So now you are ready to go. Okay, now let's rewind for about 10 days, how you get the chicken to where it is now. You bought a package, what they call family package of chicken breast. You took it home. As soon as you get home, instead of putting it away, you cut it up into sizes that will be suitable for stir fry. You have learned this approach from prepping chicken after watching this video. This particular method for prepping chicken allow you to have chicken anytime you want, because basically after you cut up the chicken, you put them into a Ziploc sandwich bag and you pack them in about 8 ounces per package, and you flatten them in such a way that when they freeze in this very thin configuration. This is important because it will allow you to thaw them out readily. For this version of teriyaki chicken, you're going to have the chicken coated with cornstarch to create a light breading. So when you fry them in a wok, which you will use a method known shallow frying, you will create a light breading. So okay, now we are ready to cook. And the total time for you to get everything ready up to this point is about 12 minutes. You're going to use a pair of tongs to lay out the chicken one by one on the flat surface of the wok. This method is known as shallow frying. Basically, you will fry one side of the chicken first and then you turn it around to fry the other side. Now, shallow frying actually has a lot of advantage. One is that you use only a small amount of oil, and also that it allows you to fry a small portion of chicken easily. Now in here, I actually have 1 pound of chicken. I thought of 2 bags of chicken. This wok is really nice. It's a 14-inch Cuisinart stainless steel wok. It has a relatively large flat surface, so it allows you to lay out the ingredients with a lot of room. Now, as you can see that because I set the temperature of the stove at high, it fries rapidly. I'm turning the chicken around because the other side is already fried, and it creates a really nice golden color. At this point, I would like to briefly mention woks that with a large flat surface. Now, many of the woks in the past that I've used has a relatively small flat surface. Now, for stir frying, that is perfect because you don't need to use a lot of oil. But ever since I have started using this particular wok, which probably has one of the largest flat surface bottom compared to all the other woks, I can see the advantage for this type of wok. I consider this wok is really a hybrid between a frying pan and a wok. In fact, the company Cuisinart advertised this wok as a wok pan. I really enjoy using this wok, partly because of the flexibility that it provides. If you have only one cooking utensil, for example, the wok is the only cooking utensil that you're going to have, you'll probably be able to do almost everything that you would like to do. This is a really good example because you will not be able to cook this chicken in this manner, either in actually in a skillet or in a regular wok. So with this particular wok, you actually can make the transitions from a frying pan to a wok all in one single cooking utensil. So basically you can see here, I start out with pan frying and then I end up with stir fry. The advantage of a wok becomes more obvious when you start to season the dish. For example, I just start out with some oyster sauce and then I follow by with some hoisin sauce and then I add some soy sauce. Now all of this sauce that I add to it require quick mixing. If you do this in a skillet, you will not be able to do it efficiently. But however, in the wok, you can do it effortlessly. Okay, so now the last step in this seasoning process is that I add some water. The reason I add the water is because I'm going to create a thick sauce, which is very characteristic of the teriyaki chicken. From my past video, you probably have seen me create a sauce for teriyaki chicken by creating a sauce in advance. But this method, which I prefer more than the other one, I call it the improvisational approach. Basically, I improvise along the way. I would then do taste tests along the way, as I'm doing right now, and then I gradually fine-tune the flavor to exactly how I like it. In here, I decided I would like to add a little bit more sugar. I call this method flavor chasing. Basically, I continuously make adjustment to the flavor of the dish as I cook. I just add a little bit of sesame oil. Normally, I don't add sesame oil, but because of who is going to eat this dish, that person likes sesame oil. This improvisational approach allows me to make adjustment accordingly. So now I'm going to thicken the sauce. I add about 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Now you notice that in the beginning there's a lot of fluid in with the chicken, but as soon as I add the cornstarch, you can see the sauce start to thicken almost immediately. Again, there are other ways that how you can thicken the sauce. For example, you can make a cornstarch suspension in advance. But I think it actually works better by adding directly to it, but certainly it is simpler. So the final step, I decided that I want to have a darker color to the dish, so I add some dark soy sauce to darken the coloration. The distinct advantage of this improvisational approach is that you can constantly make adjustment. For example, I decided I will add a little bit more dark soy sauce to give a darker color. So as you are cooking alongside with me, I'd like you to be bold and add the type of seasoning that you think it will work. Of course, you can always do the taste test and decide how much that you want to add and how you're going to adjust the flavor if it goes the other direction. Okay, now the dish is done. I'm going to put it transfer onto the serving plate, and as you can see that the thickness of the sauce is just right because I want the sauce to cling to the chicken. That will give chicken more flavor. Okay, the dish is done. You look in the refrigerator, you find some scallion. So you garnish it to add some color to the dish. As you can see, that this dish is very simple and quick, and the total cook time of this dish is a little bit over 10 minutes. To me, cooking this teriyaki chicken dish exemplify the advantage of home cooking using template-based approach. With this basic teriyaki chicken template, I have the ability to make modifications and adjustments based on the demands of the situation. Even though the shallow fry is not exactly the same as deep fry, but it presents the same characteristics as the deep fried chicken. And my son realized that it is healthier, so from that standpoint, he is willing to accept it. In many ways, this dish is very simple. The key step is to make sure that you have the chicken already prepped in such a way that you can thaw it out from the freezer in less than 10 minutes. With my fast cooking system that with the 4 attributes, flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and tempeh space cooking, each one of them contribute to the efficiency of the cooking process. In the modern lifestyle, that almost everybody are busy and they all have a working life. So when you come home, the last thing you want is to spend 2 hours or more to prepare a meal. Many people would tell me that by the time when they finish prepping, they became too tired to cook. However, cooking could be a lot of fun, as you can see in this particular situation. I really enjoy and trying the new method of using shallow frying. And now it will become a part of my repertoire. I don't know I will use it that often, but when the right situation come up, it will be very handy. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.